Hey everyone, in today's video, I want to give you an introduction to Quora at Quora.com. It's a platform for questions and answers, and it's evolved to be a lot more. So I'm going to show you all of it in this quick video, and then I'll make follow-up videos showing you how to use Quora for marketing and SEO. It's a powerful tool for business owners. Now, Quora started back in 2009, but at the time that I'm recording this video, it has over 550 million monthly active visitors. A lot of people probably have seen Quora before without even realizing it. A lot of Google searches lead to Quora because what Quora is a question and answer platform, and it's all user generated. So people, anybody could ask a question and anybody else that has the answer could jump in and answer that question. Right? So when you look up a question on Google, for example, the Quora result is probably right on top there. And in the recent years, it's really evolved to be more than just that question and answer search engine. So how I like to think of it is a search engine blended with social media and also a fantastic marketing tool for businesses too. And just like any other social media that you may have used like Facebook, you could create yourself a profile. You could follow other people on Quora just like any social media platform. You could actually create what are called spaces, a collection of content, or create your own spaces. I'm going to show you all this in this video. And Quora is a completely free platform, but it makes money by running ads, just like all other social media and free content websites. And if you want to learn more about it, you could actually go to Quora.com/about, and they do have a nice description here of what they do and why they exist. But let's go ahead and start from the beginning. When you land on Quora.com, simply create a profile here just by using email and password or another platform like Facebook and Google. And then on the next page, pick 5 or so different interests. And then you will land on Quora.com on the homepage. So let me kind of show you around here, and then I'll show you the next steps of the process. The first thing you'll see here on the top is the homepage. Now, if you've ever used Facebook, this is like the Facebook feed, right? So you could kind of scroll through and see a bunch of different posts here. Now, again, this has evolved to be more like a social media platform. It used to not be this way. So your homepage will come back to, then you have following. This is when you follow other profiles. You could see a little follow option next to each person. Other people could follow you too. Then you could just look on answers. This tab shows you just answers here related to topics that you follow. Spaces I'll explain in a second, and notifications. That's the top of the page. But if you go to the left side, these are the type of topics that I followed when I first created my profile. So these are called spaces. And they're basically a collection of the same type of topic, right? So Mac computers is a collection. So all answers and questions related to that will be under that in a very nice and organized way. And you could basically create your own spaces here for your own collection of things. So that's just a brief overview of the homepage. And remember, this is a search engine. So instead of using Google, a lot of times you could just come up here and search whatever question you have up here and then look for answers. And right here is how you would ask your own question. But let's go through setting up our account step by step. The first thing you want to do is follow 5 more spaces, right? So I followed a bunch when I started. So you could go to Discover Spaces here and just follow a bunch of different spaces that are created like these. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow Tech Insider, Tech Lounge, right? I'm just following, and you can see how many followers each of these have. Okay, so I followed 5 here. Let me go back here, and you could see I crossed this off. So you basically wanna go through this. Then what you wanna do is you wanna upvote good pieces of content. So any question, let me just go to the Tech Insider here. And here, each piece of content, you could actually give it an upvote. So if you like this piece of content, you could give it an upvote. And this is sort of like how Reddit works. The more upvotes, the higher it will move on the homepage here. You could give it a downvote, and you could also share it or leave a comment. So everything has that, including this option for sharing it on different platforms and for reporting and bookmarking it. So this is probably familiar to you if you used Reddit before or even Facebook here. So you basically want to go through and kind of set this up. Then you could ask a question, right? So asking a question is pretty straightforward. You would just type out your question here, and then people that have the answer will answer you. So let's see how much money Quora makes. Let's figure that out. Now, if the question already exists, you could see that over here. It will give you the results. If it doesn't exist, it won't show up, right? And you could see people have asked that, but it doesn't have any answers yet. So you could go ahead and ask that question here, and it's gonna give you some tips. But look up here, it says add a question. You could also share a link here too. And with links, you basically could share a resource to your followers. I don't have any followers yet on this account, so I don't want to do that, but this is going to really come in handy for businesses and for marketing, which I'll cover in an upcoming video. So ask a question. How much money did Quora make? Ask a question and it will be posted, right? Use suggestion. If you found similar questions with answers, you could find them here. So I could go over there and not post it, but let me go ahead and post it here. And I could select the different topics this might go into and then press done. So now I have a question. So you could ask your question up here, or you could just click over here to ask your question over here. And you could also share the link over here, again, for marketing purposes. And then you could see when people answer you, that will show up. But if you go up here, now you have a following tab. Since I followed other people, I'll just see the people I'm following. So a little bit different than the homepage. And then answers, when I get answers, I'll see them over here as well. And then let's go to spaces. Basically for spaces, it's gonna show me all the different profiles that I'm following here, and I could discover more. And to create your own, you basically click here and then type your space and give it a description and create it. And then you could add content to it there. Now, the next thing I wanna show you is kind of finishing up your profile. So press this icon, go to your profile page here. And what you want to do here is you want to really type out really good credentials here, because eventually we want to answer questions too. We don't want to just ask questions. So you could go ahead and add your credentials here like this and add a profile picture and whatever you want. This could be like LinkedIn, for example. If you're using this for marketing, make sure your employment, your education, your location, everything is set up over here as well. And then go ahead and create spaces here. And then finally, you could go ahead and answer a question. Now, this is going to show you questions that are for you based on your interests. So I am pretty good with iOS. I'm good with social media. I mean, I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube covering different topics, so I could use those to answer a lot of these questions that are relevant to my interest. That's why it's important that you pick topics that you know something about, so this is going to show you relevant questions. And people could request answers specifically from you too, so you'll see those here as well. And that's your crash course on using Quora if you've never used the platform before. And remember, if you're a business owner, Quora is a must. I have someone actually dedicated to content for Quora, because what Quora ends up doing for business owners is it gives them a powerful way to generate leads. And for SEO, for search engine optimization, it gives you a powerful backlink if you actually give the correct answer on Quora here, and he ends up generating leads and backlink power through SEO. So I'm gonna cover that in the following video. This was just a beginner's guide to Quora, and I hope you found it useful. Please give it a thumbs up. I'll see you next time.